Good morning. I'm going to talk about e-activities as a didactic situation for the calculation of area. This paper is a collaboration between teachers from two public universities here in Guayaquil, Ecuador. This idea of the paper came after the emergency that we have uh, because of the pandemic. We have to move from the face-to-face traditional teaching into digitalized teaching, where teachers have to learn a lot and also students about the virtual learning environment. Some subjects such as mathematics, which is a pragmatic area, have a little troubles because it's like the idea to all these environment, it was difficult. That's why we look for some didactic situation theories proposed by Guy Bruce, and we decided to implement these theories for teaching calculation of area, which is part of the curriculum of the basic education here in Ecuador. Now, our research is focused on the analyze the application of didactic situation, and where we are going to create the didactic one. We are going to measure the results, and also we are determine the efficiency of the use. In general, it's like we are going to have two different groups from the same level of studies, and the control group, it's going to have 23 students, and the experimental one is going to have 25 students. After to apply the didactics, we are going to test them with a questionnaire of 10 questions that are part of the Bachiller test, which is implemented here in Ecuador for the baccalaureate students. Now, for the control group, it's going to be traditional, and the teacher is going to present objective, give a definition, explain the formula, make the calculations with the formulas, and finally, problem solving. That encourages students to practice just to acquire knowledge. But for the experimental one, we are going to use we're going to apply the proposal Bruce, which are divided in 4 different stages. The first stage is called forming figures with block, that invites students to analyze the shapes or the areas of the shapes using a platform. The second stage is what shape can occupy your place. In this stage, students are gonna determine what do they need to find the areas proposed for different polygons, regular or irregular. In the third one, I will discover you, the students is gonna apply the previous knowledge when they identify the areas and when they find the formulas that they need to apply. And finally, I don't get it wrong, it's when the students are going to analyze the results. Before to go into the results, we have to remember that we are going to have 2 different hypotheses. The null one, that means that the didactic situations that don't influence in the success of the results. And the research hypothesis, that means that didactic situation and structure influence in the success of the calculation of areas. Now, if you can see the results, the control group, the 84% of the control group have average and good grades, and also they have lower grades that we can explain that in this moment. But the experimental group, if you see, there is like 48% of the students have perfect grades, and the other percent have good grades, no lower than 7, that is a very good 10 as a teacher. We analyze this data and put it into the test, the Ryan Joyner test. And if you see, this is the control group and the experimental one. It's visible that the data is different. So we can say that they are not normal. But to confirm the information, we also use a non-parametric test, which is the Malwareman test. And if you see in the experimental group, the median of the result is higher than the other one, and the p-value is lower. That means that we cannot discard that the research hypothesis is true. It means that we are not reject the hypothesis. In conclusion, after this is like we had to design activities, like had to be different, creative, and eye-catching. And even though we are gonna use time to teach the students to manage the platform. After that, the students are going to be independent and not need they don't need supervision to do the exercises. In general, we find that applying the test, the distribution is not normal, but the effectiveness is confirmed that applying the didactics can have successful results. Thank you.